Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to the SPJ first live session. My name is Yana and I'm the part of the recruitment team based in Dubai. The session is a great opportunity to connect with our SPJ alumni who will be sharing with you their personal and professional journey, and in addition to share with you their valuable hands-on experience. Before I introduce our SPJ ambassadors, I would like to share a couple of details about SPJ School of Global Management as an education provider. SPJ is the youngest business school with 4 campuses around the world. We have campus in Dubai, UAE, Singapore, Sydney, Australia, and Mumbai, India. Ranked top 5 in UAE, top 7 in Asia Pacific area, and top 81 worldwide. It's an Australian business school and curriculum globally recognized. Our MBA is a part-time weekend program with a duration of 18 months, specifically tailored and designed for busy working professionals who would like to, pursue a global business exposure and take their career to the next level. The program can be pursued in 2 delivery formats: the campus experience for those who are based in the countries where we have the campuses, and physical campus, and second format is the new engaged learning online. It is a virtual, real-time classroom experience, whether you are based in Kuwait, whether you're based in Singapore, whether you're based in the US, and you can log in from anywhere in the world and learn on the go. I would like to introduce now our alumni. It's Mr. Mohit Digan, Director of Business Development working for MasterCard, Captain Mohit Sabrawal, Head of Operations and Solution Delivery, CourtX, and Kashyap Panwala, co-founder, the 5th Insights Verve Life. So, gentlemen, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Yana.
Good afternoon. So before we start, can you please, Captain Mohit, can you please, tell us a little bit more about your role, what exactly you're currently doing, how you develop your career, just briefly, so the audience will understand.
Yeah, thanks, Yana. Hello to all ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Mohit Sabrawal, and I'm presently working with maritime startup CourtX, based in Singapore. And I'm heading operations here, and we are working to transform maritime industry because many areas in this maritime industry remains untapped in respect of technological advancement, for which I am here. And before this, my background includes, I'm a seafarer by background. So my major of my career includes sailing on board ships, cargo vessels, tanker vessels. And I was sailing right from my trainee days, from my deck cadet to a captain of a ship, where then I switched over to shore by joining Reliance Ports and Terminals as a marine pilot, and then on to Maersk Tankers as a commercial operations, and in Mumbai. So during this time in Mumbai, I also was fortunate to get this chance to have this MBA course from SPJ School of Global Management and EMBA course. And yeah, that is the introduction.
Thank you very much, Mr. Captain Mohit. Mr. Kaishap, can you please share us briefly about...
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having me, Yana. So I am Kashyap Panwala. I come from an engineering background. I have done my computer engineering from the Mumbai University. And, I have spent about 12 years with the corporate experiences. So started from the IT services background, then kind of had some inclination more towards business. So took more of business oriented IT roles, I would say, which were more closer to the industry. And yes, I am currently part of 2 ventures actually, one being the 5th Insight, which is more of a technology and business consulting venture, and the other one being more into food processing. Both of them having some kind of traction and passion, I would say. Yes, it's in a nascent state, so there's not much to be speaking about them, but that's where I would be spending a few years from now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohit. If you would like to share your...
Thank you so much. Sure, thank you so much, Anna. And well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning from whichever part of the world you guys are. It's tough times. I hope all of you are doing safe, keeping well. This is a very interesting session. The reason why I wanted to do my MBA is something that we love to talk about here and what we achieve from there. But let me just give you a quick background. Uh, I am one of those guys who's never been in one place for long. So I actually graduated from the chemical side, worked in the chemical line, chemical industry, and then the IT bug bit me. So I said, okay, let's pursue this. And then in the IT side, I started off with being a developer, didn't, okay, fine, understood something, and then said, let's get into pre-sales and then let's get into sales. So the roles have been different, the experience been different, but yeah, predominantly it's been now for the last about 20 years, it's been B2B sales. I've been working in the area of payments. For those of you who know it, earlier we used to write checks to make a payment from one person to the other. Those were paper payments to all the way today, which are electronic payments, and what we are doing at home in terms of e-commerce. So we are the ones powering the background. But yes, the whole journey across the last 20 years has been B2B payments, B2B sales, mainly in the payments domain, have been selling our products and solutions, work for companies like Microsoft, NCR, and today I am with MasterCard and selling solutions mainly to banks. So that's the background that I come from. And then as we move along this session today, we'd love to share more ideas and thoughts of why we ended up doing and why we are here. Over to you, Yana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohit. Since we definitely have, definitely will be having audience who are more senior and junior positions, I would like to to speak a little bit about, for example, Captain Mohit. Why do you come back? I mean, how do you think that the MBA helped you, to improve your skills and your career? Which part? What was the most interesting thing that, when you was going through our curriculum that caught up your attention? In irrespective to the other programs of EMBA. If you can share, your brief, experience, what is, what kind of challenges you might face, or what you have learned that help you to, to see things differently.
Yeah, sure, Yana. I'll just give a brief about a little past so that audience can easily connect to it. Yeah, I was in my sailing career, during my sailing career, when I became captain. So I have a habit, this habit of asking myself a question, what next? So when I became a captain, I always used to think in my mind, what next? Because there is no other rank on board ship above captain. So then that thought of mine made me shift from sailing career to shore, and that's how I joined Reliance as a marine pilot, and then from Reliance to Maersk Tankers. Then after serving in Maersk Tankers in commercial operations also for couple of years, I was always thinking that I am a part of maritime industry. Maritime industry, as we all know, is a backbone of global trade. The logistics and in supply chain starts with this industry, but it starts here. Where it ends, who all are the intermediaries? So these all thoughts kept bothering me, and that was the time when I thought it's time to upgrade myself, it's time to add some values, both personally and professionally, in my CV, so that I'm able to connect to the outside world, to the other industries and sectors. So coming to the point of making a choice for SPJ, I was having a look to other colleges as well, but my choice narrowed down to SP Jain for few of the reasons. Firstly, being it's one of the best B school in India. That is, I'm always boasting about that in my circle also. And secondly, it has a global presence. It gives you global opportunity, and the live example is in front of you. That soon I completed my MBA, I got this opportunity, and I shifted from Mumbai to Singapore. So yeah, so and the course structure, the faculty, all you guys tell to the prospective students by your brochure and all, also 100% stands true, and the correct information, what helped me to make this decision.
Thank you very much, Captain Mohit. It was, great pleasure to hear that, the program helped you in any way, and you have moved to, to Singapore for your, to continue your career. So I would like, to ask Mr. Mohit, what kind of project you have undertaken that you think that helped you, to improve your skills while studying, which you can apply in a daily basis, case studies, which definitely you're facing them currently, right? With all the challenges, actually.
Great. That's the tough one that you've given to me, but nonetheless. So let me put it this way. It's actually also the answer to this is also ties back to the reason why I did my MBA. Being in the sales side, you practically it's learning on the job, right? So the sales and the marketing would come to me naturally. Because of working with the extended team, a bit of operational efficiencies and stuff, well, you could understand that as well. My weakness was finance. And I realized that after a point in time, and especially in today's world with the startup community and the way the valuation works and how there's so many questions which are around finance, and I really could not differentiate or even look at a balance sheet and understand zilch out of it. But there's a lot that the finance world can teach you, can upgrade you in terms of your strategy, even in your sales strategy. But that's something I really wanted to do it. So those are the kind of projects which I really look forward to in our SPJ during the college days. Right, I focused mainly on finance, not because to become a champion in it, with a very clear understanding that I need to come up to a certain level so that I'm able to understand how the numbers speak, what they speak, and that even in today's day and age helps me with all my strategies. In fact, there's been a marked difference. My boss keeps telling me that these days. I graduated about 12. We finished around April, May last year in 2019. There's been a marked difference in the approach, in the way I present my cases to him, the business opportunities to him, even in fact, the opportunities that we don't want to pursue, right? Those are also very well quantified, qualified now. So it's showing that difference in the workplace today. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mohit. I agree with you that someone who is coming from a non-finance background, as me, that the finance is the most challenging but most important. I mean, skill that you will be having, regardless of which industry you will pursue as a career. The numbers are very important. For the same reason that you have budgeting to do, to expand the business, to make sure that you have a growth financially, and then to invest in other lines. It depends what kind of business you have. I hated personally the math during growing, but now how I'm growing in my career, I found myself that it's quite important actually to be not to do to know how to understand the numbers actually. So yeah, I agree with you. So I would like to ask Mr. Captain Mohit, do you have any advice for the students who are looking to pursue an executive MBA?
Advice, yeah, we all know that present times are the tough one and challenging one. But to all those who really look forward to upgrade themselves, my advice will be don't stop, take a step ahead, and find whatever you need to streamline your commitments. I would say that though from outside it looks a bit scary, which to be very honest, that it also gave us the impression that how we'll manage our work-life balance and study. We're doing the weekend classes back to back, full day classes, Saturday, Sunday. So it looks like scary, but it's all the matter of planning and making a routine. I followed slow and steady principle throughout from my early schooling days, and that helped me really. So my advice in a nutshell will be that there are two things. First, you have to take a decision, and once you take a decision, once you enroll for this course, then prioritize the learning part. Certificates, CGPA, all this will follow. That's not a problem. But learning, networking are some of the crucial things which you really look forward for this coach, which is being offered in an excellent way possible by this EMBA course by SPJ.
Thank you very much, Captain Mohit. Mr. Kaishap, since you are someone who has his own business startup, right? How professionally and personally, you have improved your skills and take a decision to open something else after graduating during and after graduation of SPJ?
Right. So I think it has opened up a lot of areas in the mind itself. One very different aspect is that when you're in a corporate typical hierarchy setup, right, you would either have people who are ought to listen to you, or you are supposed to be listening well to someone else also, right? So that's a typical structure that you follow. When you reach here and you have people almost who are all of them knocking the doors of mid to senior management, right, and they all have their own style of working. You have to start accommodating all of that, and that is what is one of the most important learnings as well as the change, I would say, right? You become a better listener because people who come with the same aptitude, same level of knowledge and all those kind of things, there are conflicts. And what this curriculum does is that it puts you into these situations, right? You have debates, you have group discussions wherein you find people yelling on top of their voice on the discussions as well. But that's where you kind of develop those skills of getting your point through and being able to take good decisions in the interest of everyone. So that's one very important thing, I would say, which has helped in the personal as well as the professional front. The other part is the confidence that you're not missing any kind of knowledge that you thought. So for example, the topic that Mohit spoke about in terms of his fear for finance or the kind of apprehensions that it helps you clear those areas. If you think you don't understand operations, here you are understanding the basics of operations and probably even getting into details of supply chain. You have finance, so the basic stuff of understanding the markets. You have marketing, which is also one more big aspect and very much relevant in today's world, right? So all those ads that you have seen on TV, on YouTube, now you get to know the meaning about it. Okay, and all of this is in a way being applied at your, it becomes as part of your own skill set, and in terms of all the decisions that you take, there is an influence of the last 2 years, whatever has been thought through the college.
Another question that I would like you to share with the students, which naturally as a executive MBA counselor, it's coming. How is the work-life balance? Like how you guys was balancing between the studies, because I know how much the program can be challenging at times. Some of you might have families. You have a busy life, doing your own hobbies and so on. So how was the balance between how you find on your way, how to balance between those couple of things that you're juggling at the same time? I know it can be quite, as the current students are saying that it's quite, putting like on fire someone, but then they're getting into the circle after a couple of months. So how did you manage at least the beginning of time?
Right. So I think you hit the spot in terms of this is a relevant question just at the very start of the course, I would say. The first 2-3 months where you have been away from academics for a certain amount of time, exams is like a thing of the past, and you are still fussy about missing your Saturday night parties or whatever, right? Give it 2-3 months, you find new friends, you find your reason to be there, and then all these questions start getting answered by themselves. Your family understands what is it that you go through, so they there's no concern about they being supportive or not. That automatically follows. It is a very relevant worry that I would say most of the people, while they are in the decision making phase of an EMBA, have, and let it not influence you that bad, right? So I think once you're in and you start seeing the benefits, you start seeing the learning, Saturday and Sundays would be better than whatever you had them before. Okay, you will be eager to go to college. You will not want Sunday to end because you know that Monday you are again going to start whatever you have been doing for so much time. So Saturday and Sunday really turn out to be the best days, in fact. So no weekends, is no fuss, and absorb as much as you in the class. And I think then exams are not a big overload at all. So yeah.
Captain Mohit, what about you?
Yeah, I wanted to add into that. I fully agree what Kashyap mentioned. And you know what is the irony, which actually happened with me, and I'm very sure Mohit will also agree that after a month or so, you actually look forward for the weekend. That when the weekend will arrive and when you will go to the college and lies with your peers, lies with the faculty members, and have some new sets of skill sets, of learnings, and all. So it actually happened with me. Entire 16, 17 months, I was looking forward for a weekend to arrive. I used to discuss with my wife. So she was like complaining that you are more of now thinking of rather thinking about me, you're thinking about weekends. And why? Because you need to go to college.
Exactly. Mr. Mohit? Because you're a family man, and I mean all of you are family man guys. So how did you? Because you're more senior in terms of age. How did you decided to come back after so many years on the MBA to start the journey of the development? And how did you juggle between the family, the work responsibilities, and the life balance?
Yeah, thanks, Anna. So let me break it up. Like you said, there are two parts to this question. One is why coming back, and then of course how do you manage it. Uh, to the audience, let me just tell them my family background. I've got two kids. At that point in time, the elder one was 8 and the younger one was 6. So it was fun with them because all I had to tell them is like, well, what you do in school, I am going back to school. So if you have a homework, so do I. You get a project, so do I. And it so happened that the younger one, my son, used to say, "Dad, when you're giving an exam, how many marks do you get? How do you prepare for exams?" So I made it fun loving. But let me tell you guys, it's really, really, if your spouse and your family has to support this initiative, because you are going to take away, like Captain Mohit also mentioned, you are going to take away the time that was meant for them, because that's typically where you would spend your weekends. So you're going to take away that time from them and give it to somebody else, and that somebody else is you. Because this knowledge, in fact, I can see some of the comments which are coming up from the audiences in terms of, if I am from an IT world, how does it help and all. You are trying to up your quotient, your knowledge. You are going to up yourself, and this is exactly why I had to push myself to come back, was because you, in today's day and age, if you compare yourself with your dads and the generation of your dads like 20, 30 years ago, industry wasn't so fast changing. Today, markets change rapidly. So if you do not understand that concept, you will be left behind, and that's a fact. You see it around you. People who are attending this session, look around you. There are people. Our fathers were from cradle to grave, probably with one company. How many of us have kept on changing companies? Maybe after every 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we change our companies. We move to doing something else. While we change our company for better career prospects, how many of us have looked at knowledge or education to up our ante and go back into this market? This is what SPJ course helped me do, especially with the faculty members and all. I'm sure we are going to be covering that piece as well. But that is the value that brought to me through this education. So here is what I'm telling you about I'm literally pushing you guys. Whenever you want, please do come back and educate yourself, gain that knowledge, and it helps you when you go back into this industry. You are far more, you're carrying far more ammunition than anybody else, your peers. So this really helps. This education really helps. Please, whether you're a tech consultant or any other consultant, there's one comment which I can see from Anurekha. If I may also, Yana, on behalf of this cohort here, mention senior tech consultants, right? Technology consultants, whether you're in the support side or you are in the development side. I keep telling my support team even today, you don't realize that your one support given to the end customer helps me get more business. How do you contribute to that particular equation? It's all a team game today, right? We all are playing different roles. Nobody's an individual single player here. Remember, you're a part of an organization. An organization is a team. Just like there is a wicket keeper and a bowler and a batsman, each needs to understand the other person's role. That is what this education will help you. It will help you understand how others play in this ecosystem. It will help you go up that ladder and be a part of that leadership chain and give those valuable insights. I think this is a long answer, but I hope I've been able to tell them these are exactly things that I enjoy today. Right? We can talk about the work-life balance, but trust me, if you don't have support from your personal side, this can be really overwhelming. So first step before you sign up with SPJ or any other course, guys, first step is get yourselves with your family, talk to your family, and get their support. I think after that, it's a plain victory for you, and you will be able to run through this course. Kashyap and Sabarwal have already mentioned their challenges and how they came through, and trust me, Captain Sabarwal, like he mentioned, after 2 or 3 weekends, you finish your course and you realize there's an emptiness. There's a vacuum that has been created after 12, 18 months of rigorous courses. There's a complete vacuum in your life, but it's sweet. It's a sweet feeling. Back to you, Yana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohit. Most of the questions that I have from students, which would like to pursue the executive MBA program, usually they ask me because I know that the program will offer you exposure and to develop your skills, which you can adapt them later on, regardless of the industry. Since you are coming, three of you are coming from a different background, it clearly said that the skills that you developed during the program was something that you can adapt in your current industry, right? Finance is finance, right? So how did you adapt them? If you can explain, I mean, this is the question for all of you. How did you adapt them, those business skills, towards the industry that you're currently in? If you can, Captain Mohit, if you can, elaborate this, and then all of you, of course.
No, right. I will concur with Mohit what he said, and there was also a question from audience regarding they are talking about a specific field like IT and how it will benefit this course, how it will benefit them. So let me tell you on the broader side is that I belongs to maritime industry, and if you see the stats online, if you go to Google, and also most of the maritime professional, what they are doing, they pursue higher education in maritime setup only. There are very handful few people who take a decision, something what I did, not to pursue in dedicated maritime education, whereas coming to the journalized version of the setup, which like SPJ and EMBA has to offer. So that was my point also. I never was inclined towards any maritime dedicated courses. When I saw the course structure and the curriculum for the SPJ, see, the basic remains same. Operations in any industry will be, this was taught by one of our learned and excellent faculty member. I can never forget him, and I'm sure he is favorite of many of us. So operations will remain same across, you name any industry: aviation, banking, healthcare, anything. Finance will be there, balance sheets, P&Ls, everything will be there, and marketing, of course. Without that, there's nothing. So all these basic agendas are very well covered with this EMBA course, what we studied. And then it is a matter of what you want to major into, whether operation basis, your domain, what you belongs to. So even if you want to do it journal MBA, you can do that. So yeah, so meaning to say is, don't restrict yourself in your domain specific or your industry specific course, because simply this course will connect you to the other industry, other sectors, which you will not believe at this point of time, and which you will come to know once you do this course. The way your horizon will get broadened, and the way your outlook, your perception will change. You will be able to connect to the challenges in other industries. You will be able to see what good and bad practices is being followed, and then come back home in your own work segment and then apply those, something like that. Yep.
Mr. Kaishap, what about you?
Right. So there are 2-3 aspects to, since I see the comments as well. So one is on how are we kind of learning what we have to in the class and then
Yes.
trying to apply it, right? So I think as part of the program structure, something which is called as problems at work, right? That is one of the integral part of every course, as you advance in the course. And what happens is that there are certain marks which are dedicated to it, so you ought to do it. Okay, now what it means is that you are learning certain things, and you have to come up with a problem which is related to that particular subject, come with the data and come with the solution to it. Okay, so you call it PAW, problems at work. So say for example, if I'm learning something about operations research and which is more of optimization of stuff just by crunching the numbers out there, you have the data and you have to really get into the data, do your permutations, combinations, probability, all of this, and then come at the right sizing. What I actually did is, for that subject, I had access to my data of the IT operations team, and I was kind of able to take a lot of data from there, be able to apply these theories, and then kind of come up with a very good solution to it. So it helped in kind of optimization. So every subject will give you that opportunity to relate the subject to your work area. And if you have access to the data, the raw data out there, you could really do wonders with that problem statement. Okay, so that's there. And since I come from the IT background and I see questions from the viewers, I also was from the technical background. I have done coding, and I have gone through the phase of team lead and senior consultant, and then the architect plus the project management. At some place, you start to relate your work with the business need of whatever you're doing, right? And that is where you need to start grasping these concepts. So I have although I come from the IT background, I have done my majors in finance. Okay, because I see that the combination of finance and IT really helps me give that view of giving solutions as well as seeing their feasibility from a long-term point of view. So that's on the specific question. But yes, the course itself will give you various ways to implement what you're learning in class and then go and be able to apply it at work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaishap. We have a question from Arnish Rodriguez. So he's holding a 12 years of professional working experience in insurance sector. So his experience has been a mix and match of being a junior level to mid management position. So he's asking, should he took the EMBA or a general MBA program? Mr. Mohit, what would you advise him, for example, coming from a insurance sector?
So, Amrish, you have a very good question there. In fact, this question should be answered by you yourself. Yeah. Both of them.
I will answer the question, but I need only your opinion when it's coming, because we already said that. Yeah.
So
please.
So the difference between an EMBA and the MBA program is going to be is very simple. EMBA is, a general MBA is going to be you learn the same subject across some 36 6 months, 5 months. They make you go deeper into that subject. They make you understand a lot of basics about this subject, right? Any topic that you pick up. However, in an EMBA, and especially SPJ course taught me that was, in an EMBA program, we will not get into the depths. We will tell you, for example, like I did finance, they will show us how it's calculated, a particular thing is calculated, but more emphasis is given on what you understand of that situation. More emphasis is given, like Kashyap mentioned, and problems at work. More emphasis is given on because of your cohort will have people from different backgrounds, different industries, the discussions or the case studies, right? There's a lot of work that you yourself have to put in an EMBA program. You have to come prepared. This is thankfully SPJ's course helped us do that. They give you the pre-read material. So before you come for the course, you put in a bit of hours, study, go through those subjects, go through those case studies. There are in fact, the case studies are customized to the topics that they're going to teach you. So those case studies are provided to you well in advance. If you can go through those case studies, you can prepare your own notes saying what is your observation of it. The time that is spent in the class is to discuss. The time that is spent in the class is to understand from the other person who comes from a very different background, very different industry, his or her point of view. So that's the basic difference in an EMBA and a general MBA. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rohit. Now I have a question which is Miss Niha Kiran Kumar. Miss Niha Kiran, so the difference between persuasion of face-to-face and online, there is not much difference. It depends how would you like to, to pursue it. Usually if you're not based in Dubai and you're outside UAE or outside, for example, India or outside Singapore, where we don't have a physical campus, definitely I will recommend the engaged learning online. It's a virtual classroom where you have the ability to pursue the same program with the same quality on the go from home. The same credentials will be there, and the quality of the program will not be compromised whether you will be online or face to face. The program is the full, the online one, it's a live session. So basically it is a virtual classroom that you can do it from home, or if the times are more suitable for, for your life balance. Okay, we have a question from Shakit Chandray. I'm working as a marketing analyst consulting, and nowadays the industry is moving to cloud and big data. Does the course curriculum has that as well? It's the course is not focusing only on the cloud and big data. Yes, we have it as a course, not as a specialization, but the program it's specifically designed to help you develop more skills. So once you will start to grow in your career, for example, yes, marketing is very important, finance is very important. So it will be a mixture of skills that you can afterwards adapt them towards your career growth. And I don't know if you have more skills, but if you want to, to grow in a little bit more senior position, definitely you will have to have a set of skills, which will be crucial, to lead a company tomorrow. Okay, we have a question from Vinet Sheikh. It will help me move out of investment back operation and switch to core finance part. Definitely it will help you if you. So I don't understand the questions actually. Guys, do you understand the question of Mr. Vinet?
Yeah, Yana, let me take that. This is Mohit here.
Because you are for the I think the question is for you. Yes, you can explain the best. I mean the transition.
Sure. So Vinny, what you need to find out more is when you say move into the core finance part, do you want to specialize in that particular area? If that's the question, then of course, then you need to get into those kind of specializations. But if your question, the intent of your question was to move out of operations and move into do a vertical kind of a jump, horizontal jump, sorry, not a vertical one, then yes, this course does help you. In fact, the other gentleman, which is on online right now, Captain Sabarwal, he just cited his example of how he he's been in the maritime side, sailing side, then he took up a shore job, and now he's in a completely different, as a COO of his company, he's helping strategize business as well. So yes, this course does give you enough knowledge of various other verticals, which will help you decide that is core finance part your actual passion. You could realize during the course that your passion turns out to be something else. So in short, yes, these kind of course do help you with.
Thank you, Mr. Mohit. Yes, because I had a question about the virtual classroom experience, the yellow, which I think that you had exposure as well, right? Did you had exposure during your studies or everything? The engaging learning, right? You had a blended experience between face-to-face and virtual classroom. So, Captain Mohit, can you please explain, the difference or the persuasion, whether you feel comfortable, using the amazing platform that we are currently having? How was the class?
I'll also come to to a couple of questions which are being raised by audience in with respect to online. I am seeing that they have concern regarding online format of the studies, especially in the present challenging time. So let me tell you, EMBA course of SPJ, which we went through. We were enrolled in 2017 and completed in 19. So that is also a mixture of online and face-to-face version, physical classes version. But the online part was kept to relatively small, let's say to say 20 to 25%, and remaining 75% was face-to-face. So those 25% webinars takes place to explain the required content by the faculty, and you do the assessments also online. So those are few online basic courses you can call. Whereas now, during the course when we were doing, SP Jain also came up with this very innovative format of studies known as ELQ, engaged learning online. Yeah. So this is 100% online. Whether you are sitting in US or Europe or Singapore, you can enroll to this uh, format of studies. Now, concern is from, this comment is here. The question is here, right here by Mr. Shakti, that how alumni network is managed with this ELQ format or the online format. So let me tell you that whether it's online or offline, alumni network, the power of alumni network is so strong that it is just a matter of you coming face to face, whereas now in present times it is via Zoom, Team, or you name a platform, it is there. So you can discuss whatever we discuss during face to face, it can be discussed online, face to face video on a virtual platform. And let me also tell you that after we completed the course, we completed from India. So SP Jain Alumni Network consists of various chapters. We have West chapter, we have East chapter, we have Middle East chapter. So somehow I'm connected to all because I did my course in India, went for convocation in Dubai, and now working in Singapore. So I'm connected with all the chapters, and we are really, the alumni network is so strong that that's what Kashyap also highlighted, the problem at work. The problem at work will not end with your course. Once you finish your MBA, it will continue. This problem at work, you can still bring with the alumni network on the platform, whether you're connected with WhatsApp or whatever platform. So what we are doing presently, and quite often we do that. And we also hold events, some of the concerns from the society concerns and all. I was recently a part of one of the event organized in Singapore via Zoom. So meaning to say in nutshell is ELQ, I don't think so, will restrict you in any way possible in getting the knowledge, in increasing your networking and PR. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Captain Mohit. Mr. Kaishap, I would like to ask you the same question. Like, when you was pursuing the engaging learning online, it was a big difference between physical class. Obviously, there is, because the physical connection is not that there, right? It's missing on the virtual classroom. But in terms of quality of the how the professors were presenting their programs and the topics that it was discussed, the group assignments, whether you're physically or virtually, if there is any difference, I mean, if you can share with me as well on the same topic.
Right. So we'll try and give a very candid answer, since I think that most of the people looking for this particular course would have this concern, right? Although our exposure to the online version was limited. Okay. So, and now that I see that you have entire courses which are being done online, a very typical mindset that classroom learning would be better than any of these online things, just as how you have work from home in the current scenario, right? I mean, everyone enjoys the work from home because of the situation, but at the same time, people still have some apprehensions on, whether it would be good for team building and this and that and all those kind of things. It is the same scenario out here. Whatever, people have found solutions to making it more effective, right? You now have online parties also, and so will you also have all these discussions. Now, in fact, the online platform which SP Jain has invested in, and they did that before this entire COVID situation came up, where there is too much traction these days in terms of the edu tech part, right? It is a brilliant platform and it's a huge investment. Not many across the world have done that kind of investment. It has all the features which kind of takes away these lacunas of, can I do a group discussion? Can I ask a question? Will I be answered? All those kind of things, right? So it really is giving you that kind of feel with the experience of you being at home. Okay, so and I think the way things are moving right now, they were ought to move in this direction in terms of online learning and stuff. But with so much traction around this, it will just get better. And any new problems that people feel would be in terms of the online, I'm sure technology will be able to solve it. You should hear it from the faculty as well. They had their apprehensions as to how would I be teaching over the online platform, but now I mean they are enjoying it equally. So yeah, that's an aspect.
Thank you very much. I would like to add something. The engaging learning online mainly it's giving you opportunity to pursue a program if you're not based in the country where they have a physical campus. So it will give you this the same quality, that same exposure, global exposure, with the same faculty, doing it from home. So this is the advantage of having this kind of platform where you don't have to to come on the campus, to fly out in Dubai or Singapore or Sydney or Mumbai to pursue this kind of high quality of program, but you can, it's available to do it from home, which is an advantage when you have the both ways, right? Campus experience and virtual, which the difference is not, much, because everything it's whatever assignments the people has on campus, they're having it virtually. I think, Mr. Kasha, for you, there is a question from Miss Anoreta. Since you are from IT, which project-oriented sector, how does EMBA help better than a PMP certification?
Right. So one is on the online part. So just to conclude on that online bit, I think when we were making our decision, we had apprehensions around what if I get an assignment to be going on site and from work, and how would I be able to complete this course? What would I be doing if I'm traveling frequently? I think the online part is taking care of that aspect. So a few questions have actually been answered by the online version of SPJ. Okay, which means that you don't have to worry from what part of the world you are in right now. You can still be able to log in over the weekend and attend your course. On questions from Anureka, I think they are pretty much, I would be more glad to answer them one-to-one, since it would be, very much dedicated to her. So if she can connect on LinkedIn, I would be glad to help her with the answers for all her questions, I would say.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaishap. So to finalize the session, it was an amazing session, and I think that you went through the same, I think, experience that you went while the 2 years that you spent. The last questions that I have, that I think that everybody will, all of you will be able to answer, is that what was the most challenging, for example, the most challenging course that you had to overcome, and how was the flow? What was the most challenging? Because the program is challenging, right? So we have to tell to our audience, to share with them that it's not an easy program. At the end of the day, it's a persuasion of master degree. So what was the most challenging part of persuasion of the executive MBA program with SPJ, and how you solve it? How you find the solution? Definitely there was something challenging, right, during the program.
Yeah, so I will take that.
Let me go first on this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mohit. Go ahead.
Mohit, please.
So this is something that I've shared with a lot of things. I think Kashyap in your class as well, and the subsequent batches I've shared this thing. One of the most challenging things which I had was to figure out time. There's only 24 hours, and you're working Monday to Friday, normal hours. You come back home, and actually in the ELO it should help you guys, the new people. But at least we had to travel one hour between office and home. So there's a lot of time that you spend during travel hours as well. You couldn't find, at least in my case, I couldn't find time to study. And like I mentioned before, you had to go through a couple of case studies before you come to the class, or you look really, really as the worst students, last bencher kind of a student there. So the way I solved for this equation was simple. Every morning I used to get up an hour early and put that 1 hour of study every morning. The other thing which I would do frequently was the travel times, right, between office and I don't think this will be useful any moment now, but that's how also I solved for it. The travel time that I used to put between home and office back, I used to download some of these YouTube videos connect it on my Bluetooth in the car and listen to those subjects, whether it was macroeconomics or it was something about finance. So even those 1 hours that you could get, you need to steal out and make sure that you put in that effort to learn the subject. That is where you get the true value of when you're sitting across 20 people in a classroom and the professor, the faculty there, you're able to contribute and you're able to understand what they are trying to say. Otherwise, if you're not able to take out time and do your own study, it becomes really, really difficult. Kashyap, over to you.
Yeah. Mr.
Yeah,
Kashyap.
so two tough questions. One was before joining in. Okay, so I think no amount of procrastination will help you unless you have a very solid, tangible reason to not be taking up the course right now. If you have come across the stage where you have to take a decision, the family support, the time, the travel, all of those things will be taken care of. We have had people getting married during the batch, during the course. Then some of them became parents. All of that, and still everyone has managed to complete the course. So that is the first thing, which would be, I think, a tough part. Once you're through, then obviously you're onboarded and the course starts. Once the course starts, one thing to watch out is try and be with your batch. Okay, so that is one important aspect, because the minute you start missing lectures and your exams, it is more. I mean, although the program is very much flexible in terms of being able to complete over a period of time and not in the fixed 16-18 months, I think it is in the best interest to be completing the course with your batch, and it makes the course much easier, compared to you derailing stuff or getting delayed due to certain things which you could have avoided. I mean, you could have avoided that particular vacation or a particular family function just to be at college. Uh, Give that the priority and complete the course with the batch. It makes things a lot more easier. So I think most of the people have found it a challenge in terms of being with the batch. The ones who did, and when I say most, it's not more than 25% of the batch, but the rest 75% who have sailed along, I think it's been a more smooth journey for them compared to certain other challenges. So that's one big takeaway, I would say.
Captain Mohit.
Yeah, so Mohit and Kashyap has already covered. So probably if I have to rank them, then Mohit's managing time comes number one ranking as compared to the challenging one. Kashyap's number two, and number three. What I would like to highlight will be that during this coursework, you are often in most of the coursework, you will be distributed in the groups, which will comprise of 3 or 4 or 5 candidates. So it is very, very important. And you will see everyone passes through this journey, and you will see that many times 1 or 2 of the member is not contributing, whatever the reasons can be, either personal or professional, or maybe experience, less experience. And if you find there yourself in a strong position, my message will be, and I think so Mohit will agree, that hold the hand and take the group along with you, rather than thinking that, oh, the person is not contributing, then why should I? So that is the most important tool or skill set which this group is which this course is giving to us: teamwork, collaboration. This, once we see from that angle, I think so the journey will be smooth, and we'll be able to complete the course in stipulated time.
Perfect. And last
Can
but
I,
not, yeah.
can I get just some 20 seconds on this? Guys, what we've really not covered, and for people who are listening to this, is extremely important. Even today on WhatsApp, I am in touch with most of the faculty members. The faculty is great. Right? The person
This
who
was the
taught us
last
business
question that I
strategy,
wanted to
Professor
ask.
Sitaraman, a gem of a person. Dr. Bagga, Amit Bagga, the gentleman who taught us finance. We had Madam Smitha, who was my mentor and taught us digital marketing. I mean, it's not just networking with your own peers; it's networking with these people who run their own businesses, who are who are consultants, and yet they take out time to educate and teach you guys. So it's a fantastic opportunity. Like Kashyap said, don't procrastinate. Take a decision, get into it. You will sail through. We all did that. We had our apprehensions. We sailed through. We're confident you guys will do it too. Over to you, Yana.
Yes, this was my last question. I mean, we have you guys know that we have a diversity of academics, right, with different nationalities coming from a different backgrounds. So this is the last question that I wanted to ask you. Like, how did you feel? You know, what kind of how much they changed your career actually and your personal life? Because they can change your mind, right? They can advise you on how to, you know, what kind of steps you can take in your career. Because during the one of the courses is their consultants, right? During the 18 months duration, especially when you're taking their electives and the generalized the first 8 months of the foundation stage. So who had the most, I mean, I know that most of them had an impact, but who had the most impact on your, you know, approach towards problems and etc. Kaisha?
Well, I interacted with almost 15-20 members from the faculty through the course, and not to single out anyone, because you know, for an instance, I mean, I had you know, my cohort, I had members who have done their education, say from the US, UK, where we assume that they are the highest standards, right? But they themselves confess that the kind of faculty that SPJ has is you know, a notch above that. Okay, so that it itself speaks a lot. And yes, I mean, all of them, since I think the major reason for that is not everyone comes from a pure academic background, but they are all from the actual stream of work with hands-on, right? So then it doesn't become more of a theoretical stuff, but you have people who have worked in the industry for 20 years. You have someone as a CFO of a company who's coming and teaching you finance. So you know, that is where the difference is. The case-based study, the focus on decision making rather than, you know, how to be making those balance sheets is not that important, but what do you read out of that balance sheet? So those are the kind of things I think which the faculty has focused on, and that is where the major difference between a general MBA or an EMBA would decide. The reason why you would want to do an EMBA.
Gentlemen, because we are very short with time, and I think the time we already crossed a little bit, I thank you very much for the great session. I believe that you enjoyed the conversation as well. Definitely we will meet again, and I'm waiting for you in Dubai whenever you're coming, so you know we can gather and share more ideas and more experience. To the audience, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that it was a very useful session, that you had the hands-on experience from our ambassadors. I will invite you. We will be having the same session with different alumni in about 2 to 3 weeks. You will be notified in advance, of course. Thank you very much for your time. And for more information, please visit our website. Guys, thank you.
Yana?
Yes?
Yeah, Yana, I wanted to just tell the closing thing. I saw a couple of more comments coming up,
yeah, sure,
more
please.
questions. So, no, I'm not answering them, but I would like to mention that if any one of the prospective students who are in the stage of deciding would like to connect to me or Mohit or Kashyap, we would love to do that. And we would like to take forward the questions.
Perfect. So for more details, right? Thank you very much, guys, for your support. And see you in the I don't know, maybe in the next session. Thank you very much. I wish you a great weekend ahead. Thanks. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.